Time now for another fantastic dessert. We're headed to the American Club in Kohler, which, by the way, I think people think that they have to spend the night there or go for a weekend, and you certainly can, but you can also just go down there for lunch and have lunch or dinner at one of the fabulous restaurants there. All of the desserts, in fact, every single piece of bread, hamburger bun, it's all made from scratch, and the man responsible, his team, for cranking out some award-winning pastries is Chef Richard Palm, and today he's going to show us how to make a classic, comfy dessert, perfect for this time of year. It's a maple walnut creme brulee.
Good morning, Amy. Welcome to the demo kitchen here. Today we're going to do everybody's favorite dessert, which is the creme brulee. We're going to put a little bit of a Wisconsin spin on it this time because we're going to make it a maple and walnut creme brulee, so it should be good. We start by taking the cream, the half and half, and the heavy cream. And notice we brought it almost to a boil to where it's shivered on top. That's called mijoter. And we put in a half of a vanilla bean. We do that because we want to infuse the vanilla flavor. Now we have our egg yolks here, and we're going to add, since this is now hot, now we can add, but don't add your sugars, either the maple powder or the sugar, until just before the cream is to go on. Because why? Because when you put the sugar on an egg yolk, and notice we're just stirring, we are not whipping this up, because if we whip this now, we're going to actually blow up the creme brulee. We're just barely mixing. And then at this point, then we add the heavy cream, and we add it little bit by little bit by little bit. And we do that because we don't want to cook the egg yolks by adding the hot cream. And notice we're just mixing, we're not whipping. Oh, Amy, I wish you were here. This just smells wonderful. And look at the rich hue and the rich color. And in we go. Now, for everybody at home who wants to do this the best possible way, I'm going to take those vanilla beans out. The point would be right now to make this cream to this point and put it in a glass pitcher and seal it up tight and leave it in the refrigerator overnight. Why? Because this is something that's very dairy, i.e. very Wisconsin, and when you allow this to chill, and it allows it to mature overnight, and it really reinforces all of the flavors. And there we have that. And then what's important is that we get something that can contain our vessels that we're going to bake in. And notice we're going to bake this in a water bath. Very important. We've got a few techniques here for you to pass on, simply because if you do this incorrectly, then you're not going to get that wonderful, luscious unctuousness that we always associate with every creme brulee. So we want to fill this about 3/4 full. Okay. At this point, we're going to go to the oven. Okay, Amy, we're at the oven, and notice I've just put our creme brulee in, and I've just taken the shelf slightly out because I don't want to move this too much. But I think the real thing that our viewers want to hear is that the water in this glass dish has to be the same height as the cream in the creme brulee dishes. Otherwise, it's going to bake preferentially on the top and it won't be good. So notice we're sliding this in very carefully so as to not slosh. We have the oven at 350 degrees, and this is going to take about 45 minutes. When the time comes for us to test this, we're going to take a little bit of cold water and moisten our finger and then touch the center of it. When it bounces and it gives resistance, that means we're done. Now, when those came out of the oven and we tested those, we carefully extracted them, preferably with a drop spatula. That's one that's got a curve in it. We took them out, we put them on a sheet pan, let them cool slightly, and then put them in the refrigerator. They do need to chill completely, at least 6 hours. Here we have two examples of those that we've baked off before. And notice what we're going to do. We're going to put a thin layer of granulated sugar on the top. Make sure that that sugar is pretty much evenly distributed. And then here's the fun part. We're going to start our blowtorch. Your husband or your wife, depending upon who does all the chores in their house, is going to just love you when you do this. Now we're going to do this once more, but notice how it's really nice and mahogany brown and it's bubbling. You've got to get that done, or otherwise it's not going to taste, and it's not going to have, it's why it's called creme brulee. Brulee in French means burnt. And this is the burning part. There we have it. We gild the lily even further. We now put a few of the roasted, sweetened walnut pieces on the top. And to make it even nicer, we take just a little bit of raspberry sauce, just a little bit, and mix it with some raspberries and blueberries just to moisten and just to make them look really special. And this cuts some of the richness, and we're going to put that right there, right next to the walnuts, and right in with the walnuts. And there we have something special from the Wisconsin room, our maple walnut creme brulee, served now.